Hello lovelies and welcome back to Crazy But Not Dangerous. I'm Shorty Fawn and I'm not standing in a hole, and this is not some optical illusion. I'm 4'5", and on this channel I like to cook budget meals, and hopefully they are quick, easy, and delicious, just like me. Anyhow, yeah, got a great recipe today, super excited about it, and I'm hungry. So let's get down to it. What are we gonna make? We are going to make Philly cheesesteak pasta. Yeah, super quick, super easy, super delicious. Yay, hooray! Okay, I've got a pan here on the stove. Got some olive oil. Vegetable oil would work just as well. I'm gonna put about a tablespoon or two in there. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Boy, I need to wipe that off. That's slippery. It's a slippery little sucker. Okay, and I'm gonna turn my stove to about a 6, and I have 1 onion cut up here. There we go. Gonna throw that all in. Make sure I get every bit. Don't want to waste any. I was looking up recipes for this dish and seeing what was out there, and it had so many steps and wanted me to use so many dishes. I almost changed my mind about making it. But then I was looking at the recipes. Okay, well the sauce seems like it's an Alfredo, and I already have the beef, and I have peppers and onions, and it wanted me to saute this and then saute that, boil noodles in bouillon, and then reserve 1 cup with the pasta to put back in the dish and drain all of the rest of it off. I'm thinking there's no way that I'm going to throw away, just drain off bouillon and drain off all the flavor. Got about a cup of red peppers here. Got these on discount over at the 99 cents only store. It was a scratch and dent item. Still using it up. Okay, we're going to let these go for a few minutes here and just get all seasoned and sauteed and delicious. We don't have to cook them through, just want to heat them up a little bit. While we're doing that, let me tell you this story. So I was over at the Albertsons the other day, and I had all kinds of free items. I had my digital coupons flipped, I had my multipliers going on, and I'm cruising around the store getting all my bargains, feeling really good about myself. Anyhow, I'm going up to the dairy case because I've got a coupon on a 32-ounce block of cheese, and anyhow they were on sale, and I had a coupon, and by the time I was all done, my cheese came up at $3.75 for 32 ounces, which is a great price. Anyhow, as I'm getting my cheese out of the corner of my eye, you know, I see this package of bacon for $2.99, and I'm thinking, bacon for $2.99, hot diggity. And there's a young man, he's stocking them all up, and he's about 12 years old. Excuse me, young man, may I have one of those packages? And he says to me, they're irregular. And I looked at him and I said, well, yeah, so am I. I'll still take one. And his eyes got big. Nobody had ever said anything like that. And he just handed me a package and then like looked really awkward and kind of just took off for parts unknown. Anyhow, yeah, I got some irregular bacon, and this reminded me of Andrew and I, because when we were young and in love, we're still in love, we're just old and in love, we used to buy the ends and pieces bacon because we were poor. I mean really poor back then, and you know, I would go through the box of ends and pieces. I would take out the best strips. Those would be for like bacon on a sandwich or for breakfast or something, and I'd put those in a bag, and then it would have all like the little bitty parts, and I would go ahead and crisp those up for salads and what have you, and go through the irregular bacon, the ends and pieces. Anyhow, I picked up some irregular bacon for $2.99. I'm not mad at it one bit, and this was 16 ounces. It was the whole, other than the cheese, it was probably the best bargain of the whole day. All right, getting a little sizzle on these. No sweat. Easy peasy. Just going to saute these up a little bit here. And as you can see, I chop these somewhat irregularly. It doesn't really matter how you get the job done. You know, it's all going to be fine. And this is going to cook for a little while. So those onions, they're pretty much just going to disappear anyhow. So I wasn't real worried about it. And other than, you know, anyhow, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my steak. Now my steak is partially cooked because I cooked 2 steaks and we're using them over several applications. So I cooked mine earlier to get them all ready for the week. It was part of my meal prep. Anyhow, we have enjoyed them. And so I have about a little bit over a pound. If you had raw beef, and you could use stew beef, you could use London broil, you could use a steak, you could use whatever, ground beef, any kind of steak that you want. This is when you would go ahead and pop it in now to go ahead and brown with your onions and peppers. I'm going to just do mine. That's fine. Mine's a little bit rare. It's not completely raw, but it's a little bit rare. And we'll just go ahead and render this down with the peppers and onions. Get it all happy in there. Get all happy in there, baby. You can do it. I believe in you. So if I was using ground beef, I would brown it all the way. If you're using a whole meat product, stew meat, sliced London broil, a steak, that kind of thing, just get a little brown on the outside. You don't have to kick it all the way through. It's going to have plenty of time. I'm going to go ahead and add about 6 ounces of mushrooms. That's completely optional. If you don't like them, just leave them out. It'll be okay. But I love them. I think it's a shame to leave them out personally. My meat all browned up in here. Gonna get just a little bit of color on those mushrooms. And I did just, you know, I got them for free over at the Albertsons. Let me show you something though. Yeah, with my rewards, I got actually 2 packages of these 8-ounce mushrooms. But what I found, I took these mushrooms, well, about 4 packages of them, over to the scale and weighed them out. And this one and the other one were over 12 ounces. So we got 4 ounces for free because we are packing these also by volume, not weight. So yeah, make sure you're getting the heaviest pack of these mushrooms so that you can have just a little bit extra. Okay, well my meat and my vegetables have done a really good job browning up. And now we're going to go on to the fun part. It's coming together. So once my meat and my vegetables have browned and they're looking good, I am going to go ahead and add 2 cups of water. There we go. I'm going to add 1 jar of Alfredo sauce. I got this over at Peoria Discount Grocery for about $1. Yeah, the dollar store cans of the Prego Alfredo sauce, those are really good. Try to find yourself one on sale. It'll be all right. Let's get a little water in this puppy. Get every little bit you can. You paid for it. And this is a pretty decent jar, so I'll probably save it. Got some Christmas things coming up that I want to put in here. Also have 1 package of Dollar Tree Lipton onion soup knockoff mix. I think they're just as good. This recipe called for boiling your pasta in bouillon, in beef bouillon. And, you know, and then dumping it out. That's crazy. Go ahead and add that. Could you do this in the crock pot? Absolutely. But let me tell you that I worked today and I didn't plan ahead very well. And then I goofed around on YouTube watching shorts for a while because I think that's fun. And yeah, I waited until the very last minute to even get started on my dinner. Shame on me, but I'm not sorry, not one bit. It's gonna be delicious. We've got plenty of time to simmer this before Jeopardy, and that's all that really matters. I am gonna add 1 teaspoon of paprika. I have smoked. You could use sweet. It's your Philly cheesesteak pasta. Do what you want, baby. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of the granulated garlic. Hello, Gilroy. There we go. We've got our delicious sauce. That looks scrumdiddly-umptious. And I'm just going to put the lid on. If I can find the lid. Oh, one more thing I forgot. For added nutrition, I'm going to add some of my green powder. It really won't change the taste of the dish, but we'll add a little bit of extra nutrition. And maybe that is 2 tablespoons. Just a little added nutrition. I'll leave the video link for the green powder down in the description box. I'm going to turn this down to about a 3. I want this to have a little time to simmer, and that little time to simmer will make sure that my steak is extra tender and delicious. Yay, hooray. Like I said, yeah, you could totally do this in your crock pot. Now, if I was doing it in my crock pot and I was using ground beef, I would brown my ground beef first and then add it to my crock pot. If I was using a whole piece of meat, or if I was using stew beef or something like that, you can brown it first, or you can just chuck it in. I won't be mad. I won't say no. Get it done. However you get it done. Browning your meat adds a little something to it, but there are such big, bold flavors in here that you won't miss that browning if you are just too hot and too tired to brown up that sliced beef. Just throw it into your crock pot. It'll be fine. I'll never tell. Gordon Ramsay won't care. So got my lid on. Interested to me, why don't you just buy some stew beef? And I said, are you joking? Do you know how much stew beef is? Now, when we were young, we would go to the grocery store. We would go grocery shopping. And I would buy a whole chicken. And I would cook that for Sunday night's dinner. And we would buy some stew beef. And that could be used for anything from like a stir fry to a stew, like a stroganoff kind of a meal. The possibilities were endless. And now I go over to the Albertsons and I'm gonna, look at the stew beef. And it's like $8.99 a pound for stew beef. There is just no way. I'm sorry. It's an oxtail. Like, we would get oxtail and I would braise them, and that was like poor people food. And now oxtail is like $14 a pound. Now I know like a cow only has 1 tail, but my goodness. Yeah. It's because it's trendy and delicious. People found out about it. People found out how good poor people food is. That's the thing. They found out how well we were eating. And you can still get pork necks cheap, and those are delicious. Just saying. So my little niece Cookie says to me, Aunt Shorty, what's the difference between being young and in love and old and in love? I said, well, when you're young and in love, it's like, oh, baby, baby. When you're old and in love, it's like, oh, baby, if you'll rub some Bengay on my back, I'll rub some on yours. She just looked at me. She thinks I'm nuts. It's all right. And I just wanted to show you, see that, how it's barely at a simmer? Just little tiny bubbles, mostly right there in the center. That's exactly what I want. I'm going to put the lid back on. Let it do its thing. Be delicious. Yay, hooray. Okay. Okay, so it's been a little bit of time, and it's doing exactly what I wanted to do. Looks delicious, super yummy, and I know you're thinking, that's a lot of liquid. That's okay, because we're going to do a one-pot dish, including boiling the pasta in here, just like if we were making hamburger helper. And so let's go ahead and get our pasta. Have this box of rotini. Got this for 98 cents over at the Albertsons. And believe it or not, it's still a pound. And I like this one because the pasta has really good ridges on it. And that's going to hold a lot of sauce for us. And that's my favorite part. And I want mine all saucy and delicious. I'm going to use about half the box because it's just Andrew and I tonight. And I'll just go ahead and put about half the box right on in there. If you're serving a bigger family, add all of the pasta. You may or may not need any more liquid. You'll just have to keep your eyes on it and see. Does that need a little bit more water? Yeah, it needs a little bit more water so your pasta cooks. That's fine. This is going to make a lot for us, so this will probably easily make 6 servings. And we'll probably have this tonight for dinner, tomorrow for lunch, and even possibly a little bit of a lunch on Sunday. This is going to be a lot of nice food. And the smells, it has all of them. It has all the good smells. Gonna put the lid back on, just like you would hamburger helper. Just gonna let this cook, let my pasta cook. If I was preparing this meal in my crock pot, I would have put my sliced beef in, and you can slice that as finely as you need to. If you are stretching a smaller piece of meat for everyone to have some in your family, you slice it as you need to. Just as thick or as thin or what have you. It's fine. I would add the sauteed, I would add the onions, I would add the beef, I would add the peppers, I would add the mushrooms, I would add all of the Alfredo sauce and the water and the, Lipton onion soup mix. Get it over at the Dollar Tree. There's 3 in the pack for $1.25. I would add all of those things to my crock pot. And then I would probably set it on low, and I would let that go probably for about, 6 hours. Do other things, go to work, whatever you need to do. When it came to be about 30 to 45 minutes away from serving time, that's when I would add my pasta to the crock pot to go ahead and cook right on in there. And that way it doesn't all fall apart. If you put the pasta in at the beginning, it might all disintegrate before you get to the serving time, and then where'd the pasta go? This has happened to me, and it is no fun, because then I gotta turn something on and make some more pasta. Maybe it got gluey in there. Yeah, 30 to 45 minutes. Go ahead and put your pasta in, and then I just turn it up to high, and that pasta will cook just fine in your crock pot. Yep, absolutely. It smells so good. I'm so hungry. Use any kind of pasta you have on hand. You have macaroni? Go ahead and use macaroni. You have rigatoni? You have spirals? They're all good. There's not a bad pasta, and I think they all taste the same. Okay, so I had the lid on, and I just let this go ahead and reduce a little bit. And I let my pasta cook, and it's all tender and juicy and delicious, and everything is just right. It's not over sauced, but there's plenty of sauce left. I love that. So we're going to do the final step now. And I have some provolone cheese. You could use mozzarella. You could use shredded. This is what I have in the refrigerator. And, yep, going to go ahead and just go set that right on there. Gonna put the lid back on. Gonna turn it to about a 3 again, and I'm just gonna let that provolone melt, and then we're gonna go ahead and serve it up. Show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, my lovelies. Well, after about 5 more minutes, my cheese is all melty. It smells fantastic. And I'm hungry. It's almost time for Jeopardy. So I gotta get going. Okay, here's my plate. Gonna give it a little taste test. Make sure it's super yummy and delicious. You know, quality assurance, right? Let's get a little piece of everything there. And the cheese on this. Yeah, it's a lot of cheese. Ooh, it's piping hot. I'm gonna burn my face off. Mm-hmm. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's yummy. Absolutely. Didn't need any salt because I used that Lipton's onion stew mix knockoff. That's got plenty of salt. So did the Alfredo. Might need just a little touch of black pepper. And now it should be perfect. Gonna serve this with a little bit of sliced cucumber on the side. That's gonna be our extra veg. Nice salad would be great as well. Maybe some garlic toast if you're so inclined. This is delicious and totally gives me all the feels of Philly cheesesteak. Yeah, but you know, more inclusive because it's got the pasta and it's got the green powder. Don't tell anybody. They'll just think it's parsley. There you go. All right, I gotta go watch Jeopardy and eat my yum yums. Make Andrew's plate for him. Thanks for watching, Crazy But Not Dangerous. Be good, be careful, look both ways, and I'll see you next time.